What's up, Jet Nation? Greenbean here, taking a minute out of my day, driving around Roanoke, Virginia, to talk to you guys about Odell Beckham Jr. It seems some news was released in the past 24 hours about Odell Beckham may or may not have said in a private conversation to an unspecified source, speaking on the condition of anonymity, to someone we don't know, that he would like to play for the New York Jets. Imagine that. So he wants to come back to New York, but not for the Giants. He would prefer the Jets. He sees the Jets as an ideal landing spot. Number one, I'll say that sounds like a bunch of hooey to me, as even if he did actually want to come back to New York, it has nothing to do with the Jets. It has to do with exposure and, marketability and things like that. So let's say it's true for a minute. Now, I'll add that I don't really want Odell Beckham Jr. I think it's interesting that if the Browns were willing to trade him 1 year after sending Jabril Peppers and a first-round pick to the Giants for his services, if they're willing to get rid of him so quickly, that would mean that this supposedly great wide receiver is being traded twice in as many years. That's not a good sign. And we've all seen his fight, with Josh Norman. We've seen the fight with the kicking net and the subsequent apology to the kicking net and all the other baloney that seems to surround this guy and, all the antics. So that's not necessarily a good sign. Now, there is the reality that it's a different general manager, really a different organization up there in Cleveland. So maybe they have zero interest in this guy, in a similar way that Gase doesn't have any interest in McCagnon's guys. So it is possible. But so I don't really like the idea of Odell Beckham Jr. coming to the Jets, but let's make a case for it real quick. We have this desire as Jets fans to sign a group of free agents, Jack Conklin, Joe Thuney, and all these other guys. I've seen Conor McGregor. I've seen Conor McGregor. Here's the real obstacle with getting free agents to come to the Jets. Adam Gase is not necessarily the most attractive coach to play for. Now, I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people make it out to be with him, but I will say it's not attractive in the same way as maybe playing for Bill Belichick or Andy Reid or something like that is. That's certain, okay? So, and we also have the history of the Jets. We're losers, man. We've had a couple bubbles of success throughout our time here, but overall we are more likely to be an implosion than we are to ride any wave to the championship, So I don't think that's really news to anybody. So we have to overcome the Jets' reputation, and we have to overcome this potential issue with our coach. Signing free agents, especially when we're talking about offensive linemen and wide receivers, these are going to be sought after people. So there's a lot of teams that are going to be vying for the services of these guys, alongside of us. So I think if all things are equal, they may choose to sign with the Colts or the Titans or even the Bills before they sign with the Jets. The Bills look like they're on the ascend. Right? So, so we have all that to overcome. Now, if we are legitimately, realistically able to get OBJ, a talent at that level, by trading, let's say, a third-round pick, I think it might be something to consider, because we're going to have a hard time attracting that level of talent. Now, when we get OBJ's contract, he's under contract for, I believe it's 4 more years, and he's approximately $14.5 or $14 million throughout that contract, per season. So that's right in there for a number one receiver, right? It's actually on the lower side for number one receiver. So the case could be made that going and grabbing OBJ with a third-round pick is actually the best way to get high-level talent in here. Now you got to take that risk if you're going to do it. Me personally, I struggle with whether or not I want to take that risk. We have a young, impressionable team for the most part, and I can see Jamal Adams having that influence. I don't know. I think he's a strong individual, his own personality. I don't see him as necessarily susceptible, but I think he can be influenced. So anyway, I don't know if I want OBJ, but there is a case to be made. Obviously talented. Said he wants to come to New York, and we're gonna have a doozy of a time attracting, high-level talent over here. So maybe that's the way to do it. Send a third-round pick over to the Cleveland Browns and get a number one wide receiver, somebody we haven't had in many years. So what are your thoughts? Let's talk about it. Everybody's talking about this one today. Comment below if we're on Jet Nation. Let's get a thread going, and comment and let us know your thoughts, all right? Come to jetnation.com. That's where it's all happening. Go Jets.